So if you don't know who I am, I'm Steve and I have a serious carbon fiber addiction. I make everything out of carbon fiber, including and not limited to my cell phone charger that's behind you. Not important today. Today what is important is fixing this hockey stick. I sound like a robot. Mr. Roboto. Anyway. So what we're gonna do first is I wanna make a plug for this. My plan is I wanna plug it. So I think what we're gonna do is we need a plan, because what we have to be able to do is put this together, and what we need to be able to do is stop the epoxy from going too far down, but we still need to maintain flex. So I'm not a hockey player, but I know enough that these things flex a lot, because it is the playoffs right now, and I've been watching the playoffs and I see a lot of flexing sticks. I did not mean that in a sexual way. So we're taking this cup, and what we're gonna do is we're going to fill it with expandable foam, liquid expandable foam, and we're gonna cap it. I might put a hole in it to let some pressure out. And what that's gonna do is give us a nice solid plug that we can trim down afterwards into the shape that we need. Yeah, let's do that. So, miscusi my mess here. But, so what we, and that is not how Canadians say excuse me, is miscusi. It's a movie quote. I'd be curious who actually knows that. Miscusi. Anyway, from the boys at Industrial Paints and Plastics, we have some expandable foam. This is the 2-pound foam, I believe. We'll go with 2-pound foam. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix just a little bit in the cup, and we are going to put a lid on it. Oh, you know what? I wanted to put a hole in this lid to let out some pressure. Because if there's too much pressure, this baby's gonna pop, and then we're gonna have a mess. Here we go. So, just take this, put a little hole in it. Oh, not that big. Should be good, I think. Maybe a little bit more. What do you think? Good. Okay. And then we're going to take a little bit of this expandable foam. Okay. So it's a 50-50. If we mix it at 50-50, we're going to have way too much. So we're going to mix it. Where's my 50-50 line? 50-50, 1-to-1 right there. So we're going to go. Two. Yo. And you have to work fast. The ship gets moving quick. 50, whew, that stinks. 50. 50. It's probably gonna be way too much. Now, the reason for the cup is, again, we want this compressed and as dense and as solid as possible. So, we'll hit the time lapse. Okay, so who remembers that time I said we weren't gonna make a mess? You know what, in all fairness, we didn't make a mess. We almost made a mess. You guys saw how little I poured in there, right? That was a cup of clear coat, by the way, I dumped out to save this. So, what we're gonna do, let's take this off here. Kind of like that. Look at it. Hilarious. And then, what we want is to get this out. You know what? If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer. Well, the battle continues. So I got this piece off the side, but then you know what I got thinking? Where'd the lid go? We had a lid on here. It ate the lid. I can't get it off. We could use this, but I want to know where my lid is. Oh, I got you. Oh, yeah. There we go. But there's no lid there. The search for the lid continues. No lid, but we have what looks like a delicious ice cream. and the perfect plug. All right, next up. These ends, theoretically, we could put back together-ish, but I don't think we're gonna get a very good match. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these flush and take probably a total of 1/4 inch out of the stick. So we'll do that next. I'll hit it up with a jigsaw. All right, so I got those cut flushed. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this piece. It's reasonably hard, but it's still pretty flexible-ish. And I'm going to cut a plug and sleeve for that thing, I think. We'll see what happens. Okay, my plan is now, I went and made that plug. So I've got this, and this is gonna go in here as kind of like a sleeve almost. You'll see what my plan is. But right now I'm gonna use a die grinder. Shout out to Amazon and my $10 die grinder. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bevel the edge a little bit. And the reason is, you'll see after my plan when I pour the epoxy in there, but it'll give the epoxy somewhere to go. That's my plan. I'm actually gonna score up the edges a little bit deeper too to give the epoxy something to bind to. Okay, and so my plan is I shaved this off. This is the bottom of the stick. I'm gonna put this in here, and then that's gonna prevent the epoxy from going any lower than we want it to. I might actually put 2 of these in here just to make sure we got a good seal. How much farther? Should be pretty good there. Can you guys see that? Give it the old Chuck Norris. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now my plan is, I made my sleeve here. I'm gonna put some 2x2 12 carbon on it. Kind of wrap it on there. Make it as tight as we can anyway. Carbon sleeve would be ideal here, but we don't have that. I'm just gonna put it in the hole here. Kind of like this. Yeah, that looks good. Look at that. And then I'm gonna put the other half. I'm gonna put this on top of there, like that. But it's gonna be a fight, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm just gonna masking tape it to this piece of steel I had sitting around, just to make sure the hockey stick is straight. Now, I don't know a lot about hockey. What I know is you want a straight stick. So we're gonna put some on the bottom and the top, and make sure it stays straight. Like that. Okay, something like that. So let that sit overnight. See how it looks tomorrow. Okay, so I got this epoxy here, and I'm just stirring it and mixing it. So it is 3-to-1. It's a system an epoxy by a company called 3 System, and it's called Clear Coat, and it's an excellent, excellent product. So yeah, we're gonna fill this in there and see how it looks tomorrow. Hopefully everything worked out okay. And we keep stirring. Like my cup. It's custom, no big deal. Okay, so I got it on there. And without trying to break anything or pull anything out, I want to put some resin tape on here to help seal it. Man, this would be easier with an extra pair of hands. Okay, something like this, right? There. Okay, now I'm going to secure this to a straight edge. Wish I had another hockey stick. Let's secure it to another straight edge and let it cure overnight. Let's see how it looks tomorrow. All right guys, next day I'm just unwrapping the tape from the stick on this straight edge of iron I put on here just to keep it straight. It feels like it's one piece anyway, so we'll see how it turned out. We'll see. You know how it goes, you win some, lose some. I'll be back in a minute.